guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Ken, and today we're here to talk about Elvis.
Elvis. Look at this shiny 4K.
It's a nice shiny slipcover. We're here to talk about Elvis, starring Austin Butler, and Tom Hanks is in this movie as well. And it's directed by Baz Luhrmann. But look, before we get into it, we're a little late to the party on this movie.
Just a little bit.
It came out last June, and we're just getting around to watching it.
Right.
So yeah, we're going to give our thoughts. But before we do that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already, we talk about movies and TV and all that kind of stuff on this channel. So if you like that kind of thing, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button. Also, comments. Leave us a comment down below if you saw this movie. What are your thoughts on this movie? I imagine quite a few people have seen this film. And yeah, leave us your thoughts in the comment section below. So Elvis, where do you want to start with Elvis?
Yeah, so I think it took us a little bit to watch this movie because of the length of it. It is on the longer side. It's like 2 hours and 39 minutes or something.
Is that like the new normal for movies, you think? We've got Avatar over 3 hours, Babylon, The Batman. It's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I guess, you know, in comparison to 3 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes is better, but it's still on the longer side, and I just wasn't ready to commit. But, you know, with all the buzz going on with all the award shows right now, we're like, okay, let's just go ahead and watch it and see you know, what we think about it, see if it, you know, is worth all the buzz. So,
yeah, I mean, Austin Butler, he's up for, you know, obviously best actor.
So do you have any kind of like connection with Elvis? Did you ever like listening to his music? I know he wasn't really, you know, our time or anything, but I didn't know.
I do like me some Elvis. I remember my grandmother wasn't, I don't think she was obsessed, but she liked Elvis a lot. And I remember she had like an Elvis like bust on her dresser.
Really?
So she was a fan of Elvis. So,
yeah, and I mean, she would have been like, would she have been like the age to have, I guess, been like during his prime?
Yeah, I'm sure she was one of those girls in the front row.
Right. Oh man, like that. Just talking about that very quickly. I
just hope that she didn't throw her panties up there. That's what I'm hoping.
The way that they portrayed the women in this movie, which I'm sure was entirely accurate. Like, it's crazy to me the way that women would act around Elvis and, you know, other musicians. Well,
it just goes to show you that times really don't change.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the Beatles, and then going into, you know, your childhood, the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, it's like people were freaking out about them. I
don't feel like it's that extreme.
I don't know who freaks out over who anymore. I'm not really into music, but
yeah, that was just one of the kind of enjoyable yet funny things about this movie was just seeing the way that he, like the effect that he had on women specifically, but also men as well.
Yeah.
But I was just going to say, so fun fact, I am actually, my middle name comes from Elvis's daughter, Lisa Marie Presley.
Oh my.
Yeah, my name's Michelle Marie. And one of my brothers is named after Elvis, his middle name. So Elvis Aaron Presley. My brother's name is Michael Aaron. So anyway, that's kind of cool.
So your mom's a fan of Elvis?
My mom, she was not, you know, at the age, like she was still a kid when he died.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, she did like him. And I don't know if she like got into him more after he died too. But anyway, so that's just kind of like my upbringing with Elvis. Like I knew who he was. I knew my mom loved it. And so
he is a timeless artist. He is an icon of music and rock and roll. So much deserving of a full length biopic.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm surprised, you know, that there has there been one?
Yeah, there's been a few. There's actually one directed by John Carpenter, starring Kurt Russell. I think it was in the either 70s or 80s. I want to watch it. It was a made for TV movie.
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell played Elvis,
70s?
and I think it was in the 70s, maybe the 80s.
But is he
sometime
old enough for that? Like,
yeah, I mean, Kurt Russell's been acting. It must have been in the 80s, but I haven't seen the movie.
But yeah, I don't know. So I'll just like quickly get into my thoughts about this. You know, I do enjoy a good biopic. Like you mentioned earlier, Bohemian Rhapsody. We really liked that.
I love Bohemian Rhapsody. I love the Rocket Man
Rocket Man was another good one.
That was fantastic. So I was looking forward to this. But
yeah. So I did enjoy this movie. It's not my favorite by any means. You know, probably Bohemian Rhapsody still holds that spot for me. But still overall, I did enjoy the movie.
Okay. Getting into my quick thoughts, I didn't really enjoy the movie, if I'm being honest.
Right.
I thought there was aspects of it I did enjoy. There's a lot that I didn't. I would describe this movie as this. It was a lot of style. Of course, it's directed by Baz Luhrmann, who is kind of known for style over substance. I mean, you had The Great Gatsby, which is another beautiful film, visually stunning movie. He also did Romeo and Juliet back in 1996, which is kind of the same way. So I wanted to get more into the nuances of Elvis as a person, as a character, and I don't really feel like this movie was interested in delivering that to me. I never felt like I got to know Elvis in this movie, and I wanted to get to know him as a person. I don't really think this movie was interested in that. So I just felt it was a lot of styles, a lot of flashy editing and cuts and stuff and direction, but no real substance to the actual story.
Yeah, I get that. You know, this, like you said, it's very flashy. I do feel like, you know, we watched this at home, obviously, but I do feel like it would have been really great on the big screen because of all the, you know, flashiness, the musical numbers, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure it would have looked amazing and sounded amazing and would have just been really, what's the word, enthralling, or
I mean, a beautiful movie. Beautiful movie. But
and then, you know, as far as feeling like I didn't have like a connection with Elvis or get to really know him, I don't know if I would entirely agree with that. I feel like that they did a decent job kind of showing his just love for music. You know, it obviously showed from when he was a child to you know, up until he died.
I will say they did a better job in the second half than they did the first half. It's just the first half was so fast and frantic, and it just moved at such a pace. I was like, hold on, slow down. Like, I'm interested in this. And they just wanted to get through it quickly. And I don't know, I just didn't feel like I got enough time. Yeah.
Like, basically for me, I just took away that he was so in love with, you know, his music and singing and his fans and stuff, that was really all that he had time for. Like, it just consumed him. And
it's almost like you get more of the downfall of Elvis in this movie as you do the rise. Like, I feel like we spent a very brief period with him being successful, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, that could be, though, that was just how it was. You know, I was doing a little bit of reading, you know, while we're watching the movie and after, too, just to try to learn more about him and everything. And it did, I think I read that he was, you know, at the height of his fame for like a couple of years. And then after that, you know, it just kind of...
It is always interesting to think of, because like you see these guys as like larger than life, and you would just assume they had like a 20-year long career where everybody loved them.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case. I mean, you look at Nirvana from the 90s, they were only at the height of their popularity for like 2 years or 3 years.
Yeah.
But people still listen to their music today, so.
But so what did you think about Austin Butler as Elvis?
Oh, I mean, as the performance-wise, like, I thought it was fantastic. Like, he definitely got into the character of Elvis. And, yeah, I mean, I completely bought into him as Elvis. I wanted to know more. Like, my issues had nothing to do with his performance more than just like the story direction and the overall direction of the movie.
Yeah.
But great performance.
Yeah, I was a little hesitant with him being Elvis. I just wasn't completely sold on it, but I very quickly, you know, realized that, okay, he's doing it. This is good. And so I do feel like, you know, he looked almost identical to Elvis, sounded like Elvis. You know, I think he did a fantastic job. And, you know, I think that all the buzz that he's getting is rightfully so. Something that I do want to talk about that I feel like kind of brought this movie down was Tom Hanks.
Okay, so you're on the side of, because that's the whole big thing with this movie is some people love Tom Hanks in this movie, some people do not like Tom Hanks at all, and he brings it down for him.
So it's funny because my mom saw this movie. Yeah. I believe they got to go to the theater to see it. And so I remember her telling me that she did not like Tom Hanks as the manager.
Yeah. Well, you're not supposed to like him. He's not framed as being likable.
But she meant like his acting.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I can't remember the Colonel. What's his name in the movie? I can't remember completely.
I can't remember either. So, you know, we've got Tom Hanks as his manager. He's kind of playing this like half, what do you call it? Like a half villain? I He's like not completely bad, but he's not completely good either.
Which I didn't know of his. I knew obviously he had a manager, but I didn't know of this whole character. I didn't know this real life person existed, I guess, in Elvis's life.
Right. And so I think my mom had knew some history, like some real life history or knowledge on his manager and stuff. Obviously, nobody's going to really know this.
Was it Colonel Parker, I think was his name?
Maybe.
Something Parker.
Maybe. Yeah. But so Tom Hanks, he's definitely like in a fat suit, I think.
Yeah, they put a little weight on him.
Yeah, he's got some, stuff on his face. Like he's recognizable.
They had to have, because we just watched that movie Finch, and he was like super skinny in that movie. And the movies were very short length apart. So
yeah, he's definitely in a fat suit. So he's this bigger guy, and he has this accent, kind of like a country kind of accent.
It almost, I don't know if I'm right. I don't know all the dialects. It sounded almost German to me.
Yeah, maybe.
Bosnian, somewhere around in that region.
I just know, I felt like, too, the movie, it was like, I feel like they kind of concentrated on him as well.
Yeah.
When, I don't know, I guess that was just the way that they wanted to tell the story, and that they were so intertwined that it was important to do. But there were a lot of the manager in the story, and I feel like maybe it would have made you happier had they done less of that and more of Elvis.
Because I understand the manager is important, and what he did to Elvis, that's important in context of Elvis's life and his story.
Right.
But I wanted more of Elvis, and to be honest, like I wanted more of the actual music. I don't feel like I got enough music in this movie. The actual like development of the songs, like I would have loved to have gotten into that, just how he came to write these songs, how he came to perform these songs and just develop them. Because they really showcase that in movies like Bohemian Rhapsody and also Rocket Man. And I wanted more of that in this. Because he's got some banging songs, some awesome songs. Yeah. And I feel like they only maybe played like 2 or 3 of his big hits in this one. Probably more, but to me, I heard like Hound Dog and... Yeah.
I feel like they did go with the music. They showed him like in the studio, and they kind of showed the progression of him like fully, doing all his moves, and, they went through all of that. I feel like for me, that was fine. That didn't bother me. Yeah. But so Tom Hanks, though, it kind of took me out of it. It seemed so over the top,
Definitely
way that he was acting, and it just, I don't know. It's not one of his best performances, in my opinion.
But I wouldn't rush to blame Tom Hanks. We know Tom Hanks is a great actor.
Right.
I think it's the nature of this movie. It's a very over-the-top movie. It's a very over-the-top story that they're trying to tell. So I think that was more direction. But yeah, I didn't love his character, but I also didn't love the movie in general. So it's not like Tom Hanks really brought it down. It was really the entire movie for me.
The whole scene, the like really bad CGI where he's like in a casino. It's like super, like basically it opens with the manager having like a heart attack and getting put in the hospital. And then it's like kind of like hallucinations. It shows him like Tom Hanks like walking the casino, and it's like super CGI looking. Do you know what I'm talking about? And he's like walking with his medical, I don't know what that's called, IV thing or whatever. And it was kind of like weird to me, but still, overall, I did enjoy the movie.
Okay.
So I don't know. Did you have anything else that you want to talk about, or you want to score it, or?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think so.
I do have one thing. I did really enjoy the performance of the actress that played Elvis's wife, Priscilla.
His wife, yeah. She was good.
I did enjoy her. She's not in it a ton, but I feel like she gave a really good performance. And
yeah, she brought a lot of humanity, I guess, to the movie that I felt like, like I said, the movie really wasn't interested in bringing, but I think that she brought more of that into Elvis and his character and stuff. So
yeah, and I mean, I feel like also Elvis's parents were a big part of the movie, and I felt like they were both good.
Yeah, both good as well.
Yeah, so I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and score it.
Go ahead.
I am going to give Elvis a 4 out of 5.
Elvis a 4 out of 5. That is high. That is high. I will give Elvis a... I'm struggling with this. I
don't feel like it's an average movie.
It's not a terrible movie, but I really didn't like it.
Okay. Well.
I don't know if this is a movie that I'll return to. I might return to it. I'll give it a 3. Okay, because
Wow. Okay.
but that's reaching for me. I kind of wanted to give it a 2.5.
What?
But
Wow.
I'm gonna give it a 3 because the performance was so good, and I don't want to take away from that. And there were some aspects about this movie that I did enjoy, so I think a 3 is fair.
Okay. All right.
All right, so that is our review of Elvis. So in the comment section below, let us know your thoughts on the movie. Also, be sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and follow us on our social media accounts down below. Turn on the bell notifications for all future videos, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.